Hello and welcome. I'm Manzoor Hassan with J&K Bulletin. Let's begin with our today's stories. Let's begin with the sad news. Whole journalistic fraternity of Kashmir is in shock today as a young journalist from Kashmir, Javed Ahmed, is no more. Javed, who was working with Rising Kashmir newspaper, died in Patan area of North Kashmir when he was traveling to Srinagar to attend a meeting at office. According to his family, Javed suffered a massive heart attack and was rushed to a nearby hospital where doctors declared him dead on arrival. Resident of Watergam town, Javed was covering security and defense beat with the Rising Kashmir. Javed was a newly-wed groom as he got married in April this year and is now survived by his wife, parents and two younger siblings. His death has shocked everyone in the journalistic circles of Jammu and Kashmir, as he was humble, hardworking, and always wearing a smile on his face. As the news of his death reached his friends and colleagues, a pall of gloom descended the whole fraternity. Kashmir Press Club expressed shock over the sudden death of its member Javed. A KPC statement said the tragic death has left the whole fraternity pained and the management committee as well as the club members. They remembered Javed as a thorough professional and an extremely humble person. Kashmir Editors Guild also expressed shock over the sudden demise of Javed. The guild spokesperson said the incident was not only tragic and shocking for the family of young journalist, but the entire media fraternity in Kashmir. The Guild expresses solidarity with the family members of the young journalist and shared their pain and agony equally. His funeral prayers were held at around 4:30 p.m. in his native village in Watrgam, Rafiabad, and he was later laid to rest at his ancestral graveyard. The India Bulletin spoke to some of his friends and colleagues. Here's what they have to say about Javed.
I knew Javed before also, but we had never met until March 2017. In March 2017, Javed came back from University of Madras after completing his post-graduation, and in March 2017 he joined back to Rising Kashmir as a defense correspondent. In Rising Kashmir, we had a very close association, and even we shared our rented accommodation in Srinagar. And in these last 3 years, we were working together, and these 3 years were very important, and we would work together. Even yesterday, also, we had a meeting in our office in Srinagar, and we all were on way to our office. But we had never thought that Javed will leave us too early. It is very shocking and it is unbelievable for us that Javed is no more. Uh, Javed will be remembered for his exemplary courage and professionalism he showed over the years in reporting the stories. Go.
It is shocking and unbelievable that one of my closest friends, Javed Ahmed, left heavily abroad on Thursday. In the office, I knew him from the past 2 years, and he would be always helpful to reporters, even internals, and he would always encourage them to do stories, do factual things, and edit their copies sometimes. But he was always helpful to everyone in the office. Uh, we lived together, we shared our accommodations in Srinagar, and we were living like a brothers, like a family. But Javed left us on Thursday. It was shocking for us all. May God give him highest place in the Jannatul Firdaus.
It's very hard to believe that our very dear colleague, young journalist Javed Ahmed, is no more with us. Javed was a very passionate journalist who would always love and who would always enjoy whatever he was doing in the field. Whatever assignments he got from the office, he did them remarkably. Javed, whenever there was any exigency in the office, Javed used to be always on the forefront. He would always help all his colleagues, to do the assignments, meeting the deadlines. The most important thing about Javed was he was always and ever smiling. He would never complain, and even if he had complaints, he would say, "Sir, I had to, pass through this, and I have to struggle." His life was a daily struggle, coming from a village like Vatragam in North Kashmir's Baramulla area. His life had so many painful stories, and honestly speaking, the story of journalists in Kashmir is really pathetic. Thank you so much.
The news from administration. The Public Investment Board (PIB) in the Ministry of Finance, Government of India has recommended that the 850 megawatt Rattle hydroelectric power project will be developed through a joint venture company between the J&K Power Development Corporation (JKPDC) and the National Hydropower Corporation (NHPC). The board has recommended an investment approval for 5,282 crore rupees for the project, including an infusion of equity of nearly 808 crore rupees by NHPC in the joint venture company. The equity contribution of JKPDC in the company is pegged at rupees 776 crore, and it will be provided as grant by the Government of India. According to officials, the recommendation of the PIB will pave the way for final approval of the project and an early beginning of the work on the project. It may be recalled that 850 megawatt Rattle hydroelectric power project was the first project in India which was awarded through tariff-based bidding. However, the project was stalled due to the unilateral withdrawal by the erstwhile developer from the project. All the clearances for the project are ready in place, and the project is expected to be completed within 36 months of the start of the work. According to officials, the initiation of the project will be yet another step in adding to the revenues of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir from its abundant hydro resources. One more news from administration. The Office of Principal Accountant General, Jammu and Kashmir has introduced its Twitter handle @AG_JK_pension to redress the grievances of pensioners of the Union Territory and facilitate them in their pension-related matters. The pensioners can also send their grievances and queries on the email ID grievances.jnk.ae@cag.gov.in. In order to know the status of pension cases, the pensioners can also visit the website www.agjk.nic.in, on which they can track their pension status, undelivered authority, speed post number of dispatch pension authority, and speed post number of return cases. The office of the AG has requested the pensioners of Jammu and Kashmir to use the facilities and encourage others also to use the same for speedy redressal of their pension-related grievances. Now the news about COVID. Jammu and Kashmir has reported 1,093 new positive cases of novel coronavirus on Thursday, including 692 from Jammu and 401 from Kashmir Division. Now the total number of positive cases in the Union Territory are 76,163. The region also recorded 17 COVID-19 deaths on Thursday, including 13 from Jammu and 4 from Kashmir Division, taking the overall death toll to 1,198 in the Jammu and Kashmir. This was all in our today's J&K Bulletin. Bye for now.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.